My inspiration comes from you.
What is good, your crew? It is your girl back with another video. And yes, this video is a little bit different, but this is a video essay and we're gonna be talking about how Jazmine Sullivan should be the blueprint. So this gives me literally an excuse, the greatest excuse in the world, to just talk about one of my favorite vocalists and one of my favorite artists of all time. But before we get into this video, I need you to click the links in my description box, and also please sure to hit that subscribe button as well. I'm gonna give you a little minute to let you do your thing. Alright, let's get into it.
I know you gotta live your life, baby, yes. I know you gotta love strength back. I should be crying, but I just can't let it show. I should be hoping, but I can't stop thinking of all the things I should have said, but I never said. All the things I should have done, but never did. All the things that you needed from me. All the things that I wanted for you. All the times I wouldn't give you what you need. If I had one more chance, I'd get down on my knees and plead.
Simply stated in the title, Jazmine Sullivan should be the blueprint. Now the thing about these video essays, if I'm going to do them, you guys, they're going to take time. I did just even more research on Jazmine just to make sure like I had all my facts right. I went to her Wikipedia page, and just in general there's some things I've learned about her over the years, and I just really feel like this video would just be a good time to talk about her because this year has just been amazing for her. Like, she is getting all the success that she has rightfully deserved for years. I'm just so happy for her. Like, as a fan, I feel like this is a long time coming. Jazmine Sullivan is an artist in every aspect of the word. A singer-songwriter with unearthly vocal talent and lyrical perspective, a performer with creativity and ability of reinvention, and a woman of integrity and perseverance. So, of course, the first thing we're going to talk about is Jazmine Sullivan as a singer. We're going to talk a little bit about her vocal training, like, and her background. So a fact that I actually found out from my research, because I did not know this, Jazmine graduated from the Philadelphia High School of Performing Arts as a vocal music major. She was a contralto in children's choir and later in the adult choir, which makes a lot of sense. If you can tell when she sings, Jazmine has like a flawless technique. You can tell she's trained. You can tell she's been doing this for a long time. Now let's talk about vocal technique. I believe that all the years of Jazmine performing live are attributed to the technique she uses now and help to perfect her craft as a vocalist. One thing about Jazmine, when she performs, like, you can tell right off the bat, she is a singer. She is not like these other girls. Vocals come first for her. Vocal range, she is a contralto, which actually I learned is the lowest female singing voice. She is well connected between A2 and G5. Those are music notes. This kind of gives you a little bit of like how her range is. Now, even though I am a singer myself, I cannot even sing to you guys right now what is A2 and G5, like right off the top of my head, but that gives you a pretty good idea of how extensive her vocal range is for being a contralto. We're also going to talk about her vocal choices and the agility, okay? If you have watched any live Jazmine Sullivan performance, if you have heard her vocal performances in the studio, she's inhumane.
Oh Lord, you've been so good to me. You've been mighty, 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 mighty good to me. Oh yes, you have. You've been better to me than I can be. Baby, 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 to myself. Oh, yeah, yeah. Said that you open up doors, but no, 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 no man can close. Oh yes, you did. Lord, I love you, yes I do. Ooh, yeah.
Unreal ear for riffs and runs. Literally will do things live where you're just like, whoa, how did she do that? How did she make that sound? How did that riff come out of her voice? Jazmine Sullivan knows when to pull and to push, knowing what a song for a performance needs in the moment. I feel like that's such an important thing, and I wanted to emphasize that because we are going to talk more about how Jazmine always is constantly reinventing her songs and giving them different arrangements, but I feel like what makes each song special is not necessarily the arrangement or what's going on like in the background, what the background singers are doing, or what her guitars or the drummer is doing. It's really just the feeling that she gives to the song. She knows how much she should push to take the song to a new level or how much to pull back, and like it is I'm sorry, I am really getting caught up. I knew this was gonna happen. Like, this could easily turn into a rant. This is exactly what I have an outline. And also, since this is my first time doing a video essay where there's like research and things included, please be patient with me because we're talking about music and we're talking about Jazmine Sullivan. Next, we're talking about Jazmine's vocal tone, style, and her emoting, okay? She has a raspy, smoky tone that gives her a definitive sound that we know and love her for. And I also believe in general that if you can feel an artist, they will stick with you. And Jazmine Sullivan has been one of those artists to me, and I believe that as I've grown up and matured as a young woman, her music has grown and matured with me. Like, when I was younger, hearing Jazmine Sullivan, hearing songs like Need You Bad, After the Hurricane, Stuttering, just all those tracks, Bust the Windows Out Your Car. I was young, okay? I hadn't really had any relationship experience yet. But as I got older and I would go back and listen to my favorite Jazmine Sullivan songs, like, I felt those songs, and I feel like she's one of those artists that makes music that grows with her audience. And honestly, as I've gotten older and hearing the music that Jazmine's making now, it's just like it hits a little bit different because now I have relationship experience. I've gone through some things, so now I'm able to relate. She's just so special to me. She's one of the very few singers I just remember, like, I would hear her voice and I would try to imitate it, doing the riffs, doing the runs. Like, Jazmine Sullivan has been the blueprint for me as I've grown into my own artist. I just honestly and genuinely feel like she's one of the greatest vocalists of our generation, and it's not up for debate for me, okay? But let me not get too carried away. Let's get back to our outline. She expresses her feelings of sadness, frustration, happiness through her vocal performances, and I think that is what I love about watching Jazmine perform. Not only can I feel her when I listen to like the studio version of her songs, when she gets on a stage and she gives us these songs, like sometimes in a whole different new light, different arrangements, different vocal acrobatics, she will change it up however she deems fit. There's always a certain feeling, and I feel like she makes sure to portray as she's performing it. And a lot of singers nowadays, I think that's why I'm a little bit extra critical of, because I do not like lazy singers, and I have high expectations. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I grew up listening to Jazmine Sullivan and just watching her perform. Now it's just like, if you are trying to develop stage presence, or you're trying to get into a zone and you're just trying to get an idea of how to work a stage or to how to bring a song to life on a stage, you should really be watching Jazmine Sullivan. I have learned so much from watching these women's sets that she's performed over the last few months at Essence Fest, Tiny Music Desk, these session did for HBO Max, which I'm going to talk about those a little bit more near the end of this video. I have learned so much just performance-wise from her, and I think she's actually been kind of underrated as a performer. Like, I've always appreciated Jazmine Sullivan as a singer, obviously, but this year watching her perform, it's like a new layer of herself just got revealed to me. It was like a new, like, newfound love I have for her and a newfound respect. Like, wow, not only does this woman write songs that make you feel her frustration, her pain, her sadness, or whatever it is, but she also will get on stage and make sure that those songs and those emotions transfer to you on screen or in person. And I just think that is special. That is what makes her such an amazing performer. And I'm sorry, I'm probably ranting again. So we're gonna talk about Jazmine Sullivan as a songwriter. You guys know we love a good pen. I love a pen that bleeds. We're gonna talk about her lyrical perspective, and we're gonna talk about specifically what she did with Hotels.
You don't know who you were home with, who you were home with, yeah. Was he a friend, or a friend of a friend? Was he a 4, or was he a 10? I know my mama wouldn't like it if she knew about all my rendezvous and all my whereabouts. I keep on piling on bodies, on bodies, on bodies, yeah. You getting sloppy, girl.
Hotel showcases Jazmine's strength as a storyteller by using each woman, you know, the interludes, personal experience to set the premise for each track. Each track doesn't even have to literally be interpreted as a personal for her. In some cases, I believe she's allowing herself to be a vessel of expression. And actually, so we're talking about being a vessel, I recently watched the interview that Luke James did with Candy, which is a gem. I'm actually planning to do a video like this on Luke James, but just to give you guys a taste of what he talked about in that video, He talked about like songwriting and how, you know, as a songwriter, you allow yourself to become a vessel, you know, for another artist to express whatever emotion they're feeling. That is what is so amazing about Hotels, because that is an album where it is imperative, if you listen to it for the first time, you have to listen to those interludes. Those interludes are such an integral part of that body of work. And I'm a person that sometimes, if there's too many interludes, too many sections of talking, you know, I can tune out sometimes. But Hotels kind of just changed the game for me. I'm just like, wow, like this is literally like, it's a play. The way that Jazmine was able to take these women's experiences in, you know, in their perspectives and make it her own and put them into, basically she gave these women a voice to express what they have been through. And I think that is so special, and why Hotels has had the impact, you know, really that it has since it's released, because it's just something about hearing each of these women express their insecurities, you know, things they're vulnerable about, or just the mistakes they've made, the things they've overcome, or just some of the things that maybe aren't so commonly, you know, accepted by society or deemed ladylike. She talks about all that, the good, the bad, the ugly, and that's why Hotels, it's like, it's for women, but it's really for everyone to enjoy, because I feel like it's such an eye-opener. We're also going to talk about her lyrical range, okay? Jazmine is also known for her feel-good music, her confidence-boosting anthem, and sensual songs of love. Just to give you guys an idea, my favorite body of work still from Jazmine to this day is her reality show album, which did not get the praise it deserved. But we're going to talk about actually the album a little bit when we talk more about Jazmine as a person and just everything she's been through. But reality show, that was an album that even I found out about it late. I think when it got released, I probably found out about it a year later. I kind of fell off a bit from keeping up with Jazmine. I didn't really know what was going on. Let It Burn was on the radio playing constantly, but I didn't know there was an album, you know, where that song came from. So when I finally got into reality show, I was like, oh my goodness, like this body of work is genius. But she has a song on reality show called Veins, okay? I would have loved to get a visual for Veins. Like, reality show is really a body of work you can play from top to bottom. Obviously, Brand New, Hood Love, Forever Doesn't Last was constantly on the radio. Stanley, oh my goodness, Jazmine, can we get a video for Stanley? Stanley is such a bop. Reality show, that is really the moment where I was like, full on, I love Jazmine Sullivan. She is it for me. Let me study her, okay? Next, we're going to go into detail about Jazmine Sullivan as a performer. And like I said, this is a layer of her over the past year since the release of Hotel. So we've got to see her on so many stages, which makes me so happy. And y'all, please excuse me, because there's a bug in here that is trying to get his camera time. He's trying to get this checked, and he can't have it. So first, let's talk about her performance at the Essence Festival, which I just recently watched. That is a masterclass of reinvention and for your most popular records.
I couldn't save us from falling, 'cause some people ain't meant to be together forever.
Songs that I know like the back of my hand, and she made them new. Like, today, I think her performance of the Essence Festival has got to be my favorite. That performance to me is literally 45 minutes of just pure gold. If you are an artist, you're trying to really better yourself as a performer, as a singer, as a vocalist, you gotta study that. Also, her Tiny Desk concert showcase shows her performing in a more intimate setting and still giving us the same energy she would as if it were like a concert with thousands of people. And I just want to talk about this for a second. No matter what stage Jazmine has been on, no matter who's watching, no matter how many people are in the crowd, she always gives 110%. And I understand, you know, as an artist, we thrive off of a crowd's energy and feeling them, and you know, the more people, sometimes a better performance. But I really think it comes to a point to be like, no matter who's watching, no matter whether there's 2 people or 2,000 people, I'm still gonna give the performance of a lifetime, and that's what Jazmine does. The Tiny Desk concert, that was one of the first times that we got to hear the tracks from Hotel live, and just hearing what she did on Tiny Desk, and as we were progressing, she did Essence Festival and, you know, the BET Awards. reinvented these songs. Also, she did the same thing on Our Story to Tell for HBO Max, where she took more of a musical type of approach, like for that performance, and her older songs fit in perfectly with the stories being told on Hotels.
The morning gave to me, so now I'm saving me, and I made my peace, so you can run them streets, but don't forget to come and pick up your feelings. Don't need no pieces, you need to hurry and pick up your feelings. Oh, and I'm a pleading, oh please, let the deal on me. Shit, you can keep that. Oh, don't forget to feel real, don't need no pieces.
Just as a performer, she's just having so much fun. I love that. I just absolutely love the dramatics of it all when I see Jazmine perform. You can feel the energy even if you're not there in person. I can only imagine what it is like seeing this woman live. But even just watching her through a computer screen or through your phone screen, you can just feel these tracks. And I think, you know, to be able to feel Jazmine Sullivan's music in every capacity, whether you're listening to her through your phone, listening to an album, and then for all that energy to translate on stage, that, ladies and gentlemen, is what an artiste is, okay? Lastly, we're gonna simply talk about Jazmine Sullivan as a woman, okay? We're gonna talk about her perseverance. Jazmine has been in this industry for years, and all the success that we are seeing now at the forefront did not come overnight. Her receiving her flowers is way overdue, but it is not too late. Through all the ups and downs, I'm sure she has the experience, not just in the industry, but in her personal life as well. She came back this year with the vengeance, and she literally sounds better than ever. Jazmine Sullivan has always sounded good, but watching these live performances from the last few months, it's just like, how was it possible for her to sound even better than she already was? And also, I want to touch on Jazmine Sullivan's integrity. Now, granted, things like her perseverance and things like integrity, you know, those are more personal traits, and I do not know Jazmine Sullivan personally. I've never spoken to her, but just from things she talks about in interviews and just through her music, I can tell that this is a woman that she has pushed through a lot. And just when you think about her acceptance speech at the BET Awards for receiving Album of the Year for Hotels, which I almost cried because I was just so happy for her, you can just tell how much of a full circle moment that was for her and her mother. But specifically back to her integrity, and this is in a section of Wikipedia. She likes to write about how she's feeling. Obviously, we knew that. Which in turn, taking a day or two or up to a month to complete songs. During the recording of her album Reality Show, Sullivan spent so much time revising and re-recording that the producers had to force her to release the album to prevent a delayed release. Sullivan is well known for writing her own songs, which amplifies her universal critical acclaim from critics and from fans. So just in general, Jazmine Sullivan, just from that little section about Reality Show and the process of recording it, she's a perfectionist. She is going to make sure she gets it right. And actually, now that I know a little bit more background about Reality Show and what happened, it would explain why it did not get the proper promotion that it deserved, or why maybe some people did not know about it, or why it took a while for some people to find it, as opposed to all the promotion we have seen for Hotels, down from like the moment the first single released, Lost Ones, and then just everything that followed, the performances, being on Jimmy Kimmel, doing Tiny Desk, BET Awards, Essence Fest. You know, she has just been killing it. Her team has been killing it. So I just commend Jazmine and her team for just taking the time with this album to make sure it got what it rightfully deserved. I do believe just some things behind the scenes didn't work out for Reality Show, and that's why it just didn't get what it deserved. Hotels was almost like a do-over for, you know, hey, this is Jazmine Sullivan, she's here, this is what she's about, and I just feel like this whole year has really been her year. It has just made me so happy as a fan to watch this woman that has been a part of my life literally for so long, since I was like young, you know, a teenager, really before I was a teenager, just hearing her sing, listening to her music, and having her music grow with me. And now being 23 years old and hearing Hotels and just the journey that it takes you on. She is the blueprint for me. I study her as a vocalist, her as a performer. I just wanted to take this moment really just to give Jazmine her flowers, and I just feel like it was right on time. We've seen her trend on Twitter a few times. I don't know, man, I'm just happy. I hope you guys enjoyed this type of video. I'm not quite sure how it's gonna turn out because I've never done a video like this. More videos like this, please let me know in the comments what other topics you would love for me to talk about. Please be sure to hit that like button and be sure to subscribe whenever you do. Not forget to click that bell so you get notified every single time that I post. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time with another video.
Your heart, oh baby, can you feel it? Telling you that That's right, that's love when it comes